is a growing movement in this country. Women turning to explant surgery, getting their breast implants removed, either to prevent breast implant illness or to treat BII. After visiting 6 different surgeons and spending thousands of dollars, our next guest figured out her rapid hair loss, fatigue, shortness of breath was all caused by a leaking breast implant that was causing her organs to slowly shut down.
You can see it's still leaking in the bag, and that was leaking inside my body. And they're so heavy, it's just disgusting. I'm so glad it's out of me.
Joining us now is best-selling author Andi Lew, who's out with her latest book, Treasure Chest: Exposing Explants and Empowering You. Andi, welcome back to Bloom. It is so great to see you.
Oh, thank you so much. I love being here with you, and thanks for having me on with this amazing book. It's such a relevant and timely read. You know, we just had this whole Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and Duke University showed that there was a public interest surge in explants, in breast implant removals. And then, of course, in March of 2022, the Surgical Times published this. And it's important to note because for the first time ever, breast augmentation is no longer the #1 surgery in the world, and explants are on the rise.
Yeah, it is. I actually have a couple of girlfriends who have gone through this surgery. Apparently, there's an expert. I know there are not a lot of surgeons that do this, but they're more and more coming to the table because women just no longer want the implants in their body, some for aesthetic reasons, but many for health reasons. And you had this incredible health journey. I had no idea what you were going through. Tell me about it.
You know, even the last time that we caught up, you know, I was just dying to be well. My organs were shutting down slowly, slowly. I had dramatic hair loss. I had feelings of like I was dying. And in fact, I was dying because my natural detoxification pathways weren't working anymore with this undetected rupture. Now, this is with the silicone. We're traditionally looking for a hole normally when we're looking for a rupture, but now the FDA have announced that, you know, silicone is not inert. You know, it could be a gel bleed, it could be a fold, which becomes a weak point like I had. And for about 1.5 years, I was suffering. I was saying, get this out of me. And I surgeon hopped. I went to 6 different surgeons, and even the MRI said that you were fine, but indeed I knew that I wasn't. So lucky I persisted, but I just discovered that I'm not the only one. Millions of women across the world are with this ticking time bomb.
All right, so let's talk about you know, the sensitivity, because women, like with their hair, with their breast, it sadly it's validating. Sadly, we feel like we need to look a certain way. We're maybe not answering to ourselves, but we're answering to what we believe is expected of us. Yeah. It must have been hard. I mean, not a hard decision to have the explants removed because they were making you very, very sick. Mm-hmm. But what was the experience like, the journey?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, us sufferers, and the sufferers are the experts, we are going through brain fog. We can't even describe what it is that we're feeling because we're that sick. And these are the stories of the forgotten women that have had their stories swept under the rug. Finally, we're coming through, like I've created this new #MeToo movement because I've been inundated with messages since I went public with the surgery in this year of March. So many women saying, I'm starting to join the dots. I feel like this too, but help me. Mm-hmm. Help me, because I can't afford the surgery, which costs $14,000 to do.
Is that how much? You're not only removing the implant, but if you do this properly, you're removing the encasing and all of the scar tissue. Am I correct?
That's right. So it's a new type of surgery that is so important to do, where you're removing that surrounding scar tissue, which has to come out with the bag. And it's called total capsulectomy or en-bloc surgery. It's almost like peeling away the eggshell very gently. So there's a much bigger scar under the bust, and you have to pull it out. Now, sometimes that scar tissue, which the body is protecting to wall it off from the rest of the system, can be also keeping whatever's inside intact. It could be a moldy saline bag or a gel bleed with the silicone. And so that's important to get it all out in one go so that it doesn't spill out into the rest of the system. However, the scar tissue is the system. So we're still having new breast cancers like squamous cell carcinoma in that scar tissue that's found, and anaplastic large cell lymphoma. So important for women to get those tested and then work with this detoxification process. So this huge journey that you're talking about is exactly why I had to write the book, because I need to help women come home to themselves, remove the deep shame that we carry of why we did this to ourselves in the first place, and then go through that physiological detoxification process, as well as also addressing the reason why we did it.
Yeah, the why is super important to understand, because we do so much to ourselves. And listen, I am guilty as charged when it comes to feeling as though, you know, I have to live up to certain expectations. Part of it is being in the industry that I've been in for so many years, but part of it is I don't know what early childhood traumas or what may have happened, but somewhere along the line I just felt like I wasn't enough. And then as women, we start to do things to ourselves that in the long run create harm.
Exactly, and where is that notion with the Hippocratic Oath that we will do no harm? You know, this is the first doctor profession that I realised we're actually going to where health is not put first, it's cosmetic first. And so we need to sort of really, you know, wake up to that notion. The book addresses, you know, how did we get here? Why is this happening? This production line where we're kind of in a forever customer type scenario. We're upsold these secondary surgeries, even with the explant. Would you like fries with that? And a lift or a fat transfer,
or those new internal mesh bras that they're putting in there, of some you know, material that slowly starts to go. I don't know.
Exactly.
It's a lot. There's a lot served on the side.
But the important thing to note about those is that it's also the inflammatory driver. It's another foreign body, you know, that the body perceives as an invader. And it's been called not just breast implant illness, but mast cell activation syndrome. The mast cells are the immune cells, and my diagnosing doctor noted that breast implant illness is actually MCAS because the mast cells start attacking themselves. It recognises it doesn't want to be in there anymore.
All right, Andi, thank you so much.